they have to say in point of view. You'll doubt all that he said. Yeah, he answered every prayer, and he'll always be there. God, you make me totally complete. Yeah, yeah.
You're the reason that I smile.
You make me smile
Every day, everywhere.
Yeah.
By my side, constant guide. Make me high.
Make me high.
That I smile. Make me smile.
You make me smile. And what you do
Makes me smile.
you're the reason that I smile.
God, you make me
Yeah.
totally complete. Yeah, yeah. That I smile.
You're the reason that I smile.
Everywhere, by my side, constant guide. Make me high. The reason that I smile. Make me totally complete. Yeah,
Make me totally complete.
the reason that I smile.
Yeah.
Every day, everywhere, by my side, constant guide. Make me high. The reason that I smile.
Oh. Everything this done discussed on this here show, it originated as public information. My commentary, even y'all commentary down there in them comments with y'all mean self, some of y'all, not all of y'all, is given about what has been said and done. We just say whatever we feel about what y'all got going on in the publications. So this how you remedy this if you don't want me to talk about you or nobody in them comments. Don't do nothing. Then you won't be this darn discussed. All right, let's do the show. Come on. Welcome to perfecting. Only if you grew up in the church, you know what I was just mocking. I was mocking our honor lock when it comes to the opening of that CD that Bishop Marvin Winans did when she says, "Welcome to perfecting church," something like that. Live recording. The song that the choirs come into your ear was, "Worthy is the Lamb slain." Y'all can tell I'm really I grew up in the church and I love gospel music. Enter darn way. Welcome to LarryReidLive. No, this is not our Monday night show, but something done popped off. Popped off. And whenever that happens, I run to this set to talk about it with you guys. Now, I'm going to go ahead on and tell you. I'm going to do a lot of reading because I want to get into the nuts and the bolts of this here eviction paper. Yes, you heard me right. Last time I came to you, I think the main last show was John Gray and the Relentless Church Ruined, and nobody liked that title. But I thought it was a proper title, being that there was this beautiful, seemingly switch off, this golden key given to Baby Jakes and the Avenger. And it looked like it was going to be just great. Even with all of the different scandals and everything that came out in between there, still looked like everything was going head on. But Tom, when we heard about the eviction letter, and I kept saying that they were evicted, they're being evicted. The reason why I said that, because an eviction letter precedes, an official court researchable eviction. And now we have one. Now, to all of you that are LRL haters and love to nitpick over stuff I say and make up all these narratives, eat and die. Because it doesn't happen now. I wonder what your problem is. Now, I am not perfect. I can post and do a story that is just wrong, but it ain't happened yet. And it's not going to happen. You know why? Because number one, my integrity is on the line and the integrity of the story itself. And I just don't want to do that. In my personal life, I'm not the kind of person you come drag to me something somebody said, and I believe it. I listen to you and have full reactions. But that thing don't get down in my spirit because there ain't no receptacles. But this here, I had a little bit more insight. And as I exposed last time, yes, there are moles on both sides. When I say moles, maybe that's not a good word. But people on both sides, from the top to the bottom, who just know and know my track record from watching this show that folk love to hate, that I never reveal sources. I never have. Even the sources that wrong me, I've never done it. And I will never, ever do it ever. The day I do that, that is the suicide to this show, because that's how this show exists. Every post, let me say thank you to each and every one of you that send me stories and information, and you almost make it like I'm omnipresent, but I ain't. But there are LRLs everywhere, and I want to thank you, and a special thank you to the patrons, especially those of you that did not cancel before Patreon took that donation out. Thank you. That stick by there and keep supporting this platform. That's the reason why we're able to fight and push and do this show at the quality and the level that we do it. And I can take the time out of my life and actually do the story. So thank you. Now, this is what we're going to do today, because I want to get into this. I want to understand, because there are a lot of things that I have found out and that I know concerning this whole transaction. As I said, the people on both sides that trust me and that will talk to me, and they'll know they will never be revealed. I don't care who asks me. I don't care who asks me. Nope. No. I ain't telling you nothing. I'm going to act stupid like I don't even know. Okay, but I want to get into this and have this conversation. What I need for you to do now, I need for you to hit the like button. If you're on YouTube or on Periscope, hit all them motion, them hearts. Or on Facebook, I need for you to take a moment and like the actual post. And like it and share it. Let everybody know that we are on. I have texted about 3,500 of you that have signed up that said you have not been getting your notifications from social media. I'm not surprised, because these niggas is crazy. So what you need to do is sign up for the text feature so you know whenever I go live. How do you do that? Open up your phone like you about to text the person you always gossip with, and versus putting their number in there, you just going to put about 4 or 5 numbers. 33222. And then you go to send them a message versus send them that number a message. You're going to send LarryReidLive with no spaces. And at that moment, even if you don't get a text back, that moment you're locked into my system, and I'm going to text you every time before I go live for my show from the set. Now, you may not know when I go live or post something that you probably want to see, because I already done told y'all I spend about $1,100 a month just to text you, all you people. I don't text all of it one time. I just text about 3,500, because if I text more of you. But that's all right. I just had to spend whatever I got to spend to make sure I let you know when the conversation is going on anyway. Now, before I get into this is why it's so important for you to follow. You need to either be on Twitter, on Facebook, or the YouTube community. How do you get the YouTube community? You go to my channel and then click community, and you'll see everything I post in there every single day. Because there are conversations going on in all 3 places, and you want to be involved. And then if you are a patron and you in Patreon, there's a whole different. The conversation in Patreon and the conversation out in the publications is not the same. I see people that comment in Patreon that I know follow the public show but never comment because it's just more closed and controlled. And we do discuss some things. And I'm going to go ahead and tell the patrons that are watching me, remember when I told you guys about the husband that is a gospel singer, he's a Caucasian, that is, we don't cuss on this show. So listen to what I'm saying so you don't think I'm saying a cuss word. Because we paper Bible saved over here, but we this is comedy too, so we got to mix the comedy full of cussing. White singer, gospel singer, who is frucking, actually being frucked, in the middle of his wheel with rods of gods and rods that don't know God, all round about the world, and probably the bodies of the Christ. And so I found the wife, and I contacted her and said, look the girl. And he's doing it raw, what they call raw, which means no condoms. For white people, white men, condoms, black men, condominiums. So he's doing it without wearing a condom. White men wear condoms, and Asian men. Black men, we wear condominiums. So, because he's not doing it with that, there's a problem. This girl can end up with a leak, or a dry cough, or the sniffles that won't let her be, or a throat itch, and she don't know what's going on. So I'm concerned. Since the person came to me that he has been frucking and found out who he was and came to me and was like, look, I don't want to out this, but how do I deal with this? Because I want the wife to know. I said, I'll handle it because I do this kind of work behind the scene all the darn time. And so she hit me up. I gave her my number. She still ain't called me. I don't know if it's because the holidays, she want to make sure she get her whole Christmas gifts or what. But she ain't said nothing. So, patrons, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use you as my help. And I'm going to need you guys to, I'm going to give you her name. I'm going to also tell you who the husband is. And I need for y'all to just start hitting her up on social media so she understand how serious this is. Because I think at this point, she needs to know. Ladies that are watching me in the comments, do you feel like you would want to know if it was you? A peen without a condom or a condominium coming into your puss. And I want to emphasize the word come. And it has been receiving on the back end of it, of that peen, because we're talking about the bread basket. Because I did explain to you that he likes to be frucked. So that's serious. Because the chances of a man who likes to be frucked getting diseases from the one done doing the frucking is like way higher when you're talking about without a condom or a condominium. The chances of him getting something is way higher than the one actually doing the frucking without a condom or a condominium. See, this is happening in the Holy Ghost tongue talking church. I got a video clip of here doing praise and worship. And I really feel like this man is a nice man, but he just burning. He is burning. He has an itch that needs to be scratched. And maybe she just, I don't believe she knows that it's been done without a condom or a condominium. I don't think she knew that. I don't believe that. Ain't no woman gonna put her ain't nobody gonna put themselves in that kind of danger. So I think she need to know, but I think because it's just me inboxing her, she probably thinking. And I said, I'm not gonna tell nobody. You just need to confront and ask. And tell me you confront them so I don't have to say nothing else. So I think at this point, we need to take it to the next level. She understands this is serious. And till I have all the receptacles, I have his Grinder app all of the conversations, his pictures, and the videos of him with this man, full face, whole body, butt naked. So I got the proof. And y'all know me all these years. Before Patreon came along, I said, I seen it. You just got to believe what I'm saying. And then when stuff come out, come to find out, Reid won't lie. I'm not going to sit in this chair and ever tell you a lie. Never, ever, never, ever. I do not lie. I don't practice lying. I do lie sometimes. But I don't practice lying. Because I told y'all the lie I tell y'all sitting in the chair is when I told you I heard or from 3 or 4 sources and I'll be actually talking to the folk. All right, so that's that. Remember to pray for the lawyers and continue to do $12 donation every time we come live. It would be good if you made it a habit, just like you going to the movies every time you watch Larry Live the movie, that you would do a $12 donation. Remember to pray for the lawyers that are helping me as I'm still in litigations. Yes, I am. It's not over. All right, let's get to the conversation. Now, for those of you that do not know, it's the first time you watching this, you know about the golden key that we thought was a golden key, and some of us still think is a golden key, and very possibly could be a golden key because we really don't know. We on the outside looking in. That was handed to baby Jake's. That is Jake's spiritual son. That's probably not even true, but I just say that because they're shaped similar. And y'all notice, this is a recent picture. Can y'all tell that he is losing weight? That picture is fuzzy. Let me send it. I can't stand no fuzzy picture. That is not going to work on tonight. I don't care. Don't look. It's fuzzy on my screen and it's messing with my, I can't. It's messing with me. I can't do that like that. That way you can, it's not fuzzy. Are you sure? Okay. All right. I just ignore it. Okay. So anyway, when I done that video, John Gray and the Relentless Church Ruin, I was talking about the letter that he had received from Ronald and Hopeful. That is Ron Carpenter and his wife, Hope Carpenter. This church was Redemption, but then when John took over, it became Relentless. For a while, we called the church Repentless, and let me tell you why. We called the church Repentless, baby Jakes, and the Repentless church because we kept finding out all this stuff that baby Jakes had done, and he would go on Sister Circle. I don't think he did Breakfast Clubs, but he done V103 or that 105. He done all the different things, and he was saying it was an emotional affair. I still am not sure if it was an emotional affair, but that's what it told his wife. That's what it told media. But according to what I was told by, I'm trying not to use hoe no more because some of y'all get bothered and don't understand this is comedy, but you let the comments call them the hoe, and you let girls call each other hoes and bitches, but you want to bother me, so I'm gonna try not to use it. Young lady that was here in the city, that ain't what she said. She said they was absolutely fucking. I didn't hear him say any of that, even when I did interview him on the phone. This is the reason why I wanted him to come on the show. And his wife, the Avenger, and let me tell you why we call her that. We call her that because it seems like she always be in the know when he don't know. And so, you know, that's a Marvel character. You know, they got special powers. They have insight. So this is what I call her, the Avenger. So let me tell you this now. Because he didn't come on the show, it always left that little slither of, you being really, 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 really honest. But we don't know. And we may never know. But he said it was an emotional affair. I don't believe that. Not because of what the whole sex, excuse me. Not because of what the young lady here in Atlanta said, but because I'm a man. I know all of us ain't the same, but an emotional affair, ain't no such thing. And nope, not an emotional affair. But that's just, if it works, it works. So I wanted him to come on, but he did say this, and I thought this was very plausible. Y'all may not think so, but I think so. Because he said this to me, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm not using the right words, the exact words, I don't remember. He said, there were some things that I wasn't as forthcoming as I needed to be on with my wife and maybe with my church or people that mattered in my life or however. He said, but I saw myself. I repented. He did publicly repent to his church, so I'm told. So that's alleged, because I ain't got the video. And his wife was on the phone as well, so I'm thinking he apologized to her because he said he did. He said, but he wasn't that forthcoming. And then as I remember, and I'm going off memory, because I promised I wouldn't record the phone call. That's what I said. And I promised that, I wasn't going to, really get into all of that, because I wasn't asking about this eviction thing, because I already had all the information I needed. I want to know about this part. And so, but I think that's what I said. But I do remember him saying this. He thanked me for doing what I do, because it woke him up and really shook him up. So, you live right, do what you need to do. So I think that was great. That was plausible. Somebody may say it was a stroke of my ego. Well, it very well could be. But I'm not the kind of person that is suspicious and thinks somebody's just lying. I listen to what you say and take what you say. Let the Holy Ghost and my spiritualization say you is a liar. And I didn't get that from him. So that's not what I think. But I wish he had came on to the show, because it just would have really cleared it in the social media streets. As a result, now every time when you come in public, folk will refer right back to that. And that's going to overshadow what's going on here and keep us from seeing things that we need to see. So Golden Key went through all of that. Still everything was doing fine until this eviction letter, and it started pointing to some financial discrepancies between Baby Jakes and Ronald. So I said, okay, now, what is really going on? And so I'm pulling information from both ends. Come to find out, according to what the letter said, there was an oral agreement or an oral lease. Nah. I also heard that it was part oral, some written, some halfway executed, meaning everybody signed and agreed on, and others that did not. It's been said unto me that Ronald and Hopeful are in default or breach in certain areas of the written. And then the Grays, the Avenger and Baby Jakes, are in breach of the oral. We don't know, because let me fuss at my moles. Y'all gave me the stuff that proved the debt from that organization. Was it a holiness organization? I can't remember. That Ronald owed and all this kind of stuff. I need more of the paperwork so I can put it out here and clear whoever is wrong, I don't know, or point the finger. But I need it. I can't just come out here saying everything y'all saying. That's not going to work. Not for this platform. I don't need conjecture. I need paperwork. Okay, so anyway, but we don't know. But what we do know is that an eviction letter was sent. And on today, ladies and gentlemen, today they were sent an actual researchable Googleable as posted by Greenville News. Now, let me say this to Greenville News. Put LarryReidLive, but I need to fuss at them for a little piece before I get into reading this eviction letter. Y'all call me over again, and you two Fox, because you're probably going to watch this, and who was it? W or somebody else. Y'all be calling me, asking me for my receptacles. And I don't be giving them up because I know how y'all dirty. You like to do stuff and break my what is it? You calling at me? And break these stories. And then some of y'all, it look like y'all steer that story in the direction of either the Grays or the Carpenter. How can y'all just be unbiased like me? I don't like that. I don't like that. You want me to give you all the information, but then when y'all get information, you don't come tell me. And we can work together, but it's not going to be one-sided. You're not going to do no Relentless Church and Redemption Church situation with me and then be one-sided. No. If I'm going to give you my information, you're going to give me yours too, soon as you get it. Well, I ain't telling you nothing. Don't call me for nothing. All right, you put them back. Get back to the store. I just want to put it out there. You're not going to do me. Do me one way. If I'm going to give it up, you're going to give it up too. Y'all remember the game? I show you, you show me yours. I show you mine. You do me one side, it's not going to work. That's over. I'm too old for that. All right. Getting back to this here. This is so interesting. We're about to get into the paperwork. Now, what was I saying prior to that before I went on? I done forgot. You reading comments, you don't remember. Oh, yeah. So now we got a GooglePay eviction, and there's some wording in there. Let's see if we can find this oral wording and all of this kind of stuff. But before we do, I have one commercial. All you that want to get some money back for your taxes really quick, you need to call Celestial Tax Service. And if you use the code Paper Bible Save, you will get money off. You don't know what Paper Bible Save is? Let me help you. Paper Bible Save is when you sit to the corner aside with your paper Bible and touch and turn the word for your personal devotion. That's a certain kind of save. Paper Bible save folk like old school save folk. We still highlight and circle and write in our biblications. We go off in the corner with the holy word of God. It's what we do between us and Jesus now. But y'all, new saved and the modern and the digital folk, you like to do apps and your computers and stuff. The same apps and computers you be watching all that porn on. Pornhub and them. And Tumblr accounts. That's nasty, man. Yeah, I know this is what y'all be doing. Craigslisting. That's how the this white gospel singer thing. That's how he met the one that came to me. But he been meeting other ones in the Grindr app. So y'all be doing all that stuff and no, you need to have a paper Bible. Go get you a Bible that'll help your spirituality. Come off that digital Bible and that app and get you a paper Bible. So if you want a discount when it comes to your taxes, use Celestial Tax Service and use the code Paper Bible Save. That discount starts today, January the 2nd. If you got your last pay stub, contact her. Watch the 30-second video. I'll be right back, and we're about to read the eviction.
Celestial Tax Service provides excellent tax preparation for the local DMV and all 50 states all year round. Here at Celestial Tax Service, we can assist you with tax preparation, accounting, and credit repair. We go above and beyond for our customers, and we assist you throughout the year with your current and past tax needs. If you want your taxes done with quality work and personal care, and you're looking for new beginnings for your credit history, contact Celestial Tax Services today. For further information or to get services, visit our website at www.celestialtaxservice.org and print out our company credit report or a tax preparation application and email it or fax it in to us, and we'll get you started.
All right. Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay, I just got some more information while I was sitting here doing this, but I ain't got time to go into that. I just got to keep it the way that it is. All right, so we are about, somebody asked, why am I hollering? Is Lakeisha Mabry? You asked why I'm hollering because I just have a loud spirit. I'm just too loud. I just holler for no reason. And my whole family's like that. You should come to family reunion in June. I heard some of you say that you're going to come just to our family reunion because there's another vlogger or comedian online called Aunt Boo, and we are first cousins. Our moms are sisters. And all of us it's just like this. And you probably will be thoroughly entertained. All right, so let's go ahead and read this. And for all, there's 2,129 of you watching on YouTube, and there's 392 thumbs up. There's something wrong with that. Hit them thumbs up. What are y'all doing? Come on now, YouTube. Y'all, like I asked you for some money. I ain't asked you for no money. I asked you for thumbs up. And over here on the YouTube, on the Facebooks, there are 1,300 something. I can't see all of it that y'all are watching over here. So I need for you guys to also hit the thumbs up right now. Okay. Say it again now. Not the thumbs up, the emotion, but the what's the name. Okay, let's get into this eviction notice. For those of you that are just coming back, because we lost a few hundred of you every time we go to the commercials. I want to let you know that now officially there has been an eviction notice that have been served to the Relentless Church and Pastor John Gray. So I don't know if this is ever going to get sorted out, because there's so much I'm hearing from both sides. And I'm going to tell you those things that I've heard as I'm going through this eviction letter. I think it is extremely important for us to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but let's stick to what we know. All right, let me give you the case number. For those of you that want to research and look it up for yourself, this is the case number 2020-CP-23. All right, so that's 2020-CP-23. Something must be off on this thing here. Oh, hold on. Let me get all of it. 2020-CP-230012. Y'all got that? I'm gonna do it again. This is the case number. 2020-CP-230012. Okay. State of South Carolina, County of Greenville, redemption plaintiff versus Relentless Church, the defendant. To the defendant named above, you are hereby summoned and required to answer the complaint in this action, a copy of which is herewith served upon you. Let's skip through all of that and let's go to the complaint. All right, redemption is page 1. Redemption was shown unto the court as follows. Number 1, redemption, formerly known as Redemption World Outreach Center, is a nonprofit religious corporation organized under the laws of the state of North Carolina. It is the owner of real property located, which is where Relentless is worshiping in right now. Relentless Church is on information and belief, a nonprofit corporation organized under the laws of the state of South Carolina. It is the current exclusive occupant of the properties. Here are the properties. Of the properties. I already said who is. The action is brought pursuant to a certain code. Jurisdiction and venue are proper in the court. Factual background. Here we go. Y'all ready? The redemption was formed and is operated to promote the Christian religion. Redemption under the leadership of Pastor Ron. I didn't know that his name was Ronald. I thought I named him that. So Ron is not, his real name is Ronald. Let me find out her first name is Hopeful. Ronald Carpenter, and in conjunction with its integrated auxiliary ministry, the Imagine Center Incorporated, built on strong and vibrant Christian ministry in South Carolina. This is Greenville County. As a part of that ministry, Redemption acquired the properties and used them for religious worship and related ministry work. Redemption and the Imagine Center Incorporated are sometimes collectively referred to as GSC Ministries. Okay, didn't know that. In 2017, Carpenter and GSC Ministries entered into an agreement with Pastor John W. Gray. Wait a minute. 2017? That's not right. Is that something not right? Oh, so you mean to tell me when he took over the church in May of 2018, this agreement was already in place in 2017? Okay, that's new information if this is right. Didn't know that. All right. In 2017, Carpenter and GSC Ministries. Now, there's both properties now, what they're saying now, because we learned that in number 5. Entered into an agreement with Pastor John Gray. Oh, he's the third? In which, among other matters, Gray agreed to assume the leadership of GSC Ministries and to assume responsibility for the assets owned by it. All right. Number 7, that was the golden key. It was the intent of the parties to that agreement that the GSC Ministries would be rebranded to use a new name that had not been selected as of the date of the agreement, and the management and control of the GSC Ministries operating under the new name would transition to Gray and a team selected by Gray. Okay, we're getting into the need. I didn't know all this was going to be in like that. I like this kind of going on. It made me understand what happened. As an implicit part of that understanding, the GSC Ministries mortgage debt on the properties would continue to be serviced by GSC Ministries under Gray's leadership and as rebranded by Gray. So Relentless name won't even in play by this time. So that made me think that it probably was done in 2017, like this document said, because by the time we heard about him getting the golden key, 1st of 2018, Relentless was already in the air, right? Number 8, number of new beginnings. Let's see what's here. Gray chose Relentless as the new name for his ministry. However, rather than rebranding the GSC Ministries as he agreed in the agreement, Gray, where is this darn agreement? Where is this agreement? Gray incorporated an entirely new entity, the Relentless Church. Wait, hold. This always happens at number 8. Gray chose, I'm rereading it because I got to get this in my spirit. Gray chose Relentless as the new name for his ministry. However, rather than rebranding the GS Ministries, now remind you, GS Ministries is sometimes referred to the whole management of the properties, which is the Imagine Center and also the building. Gray incorporated an entirely new entity, the Relentless Church. Okay. Number 9. After incorporating Relentless in March 2018, Gray informed Redemption that Relentless wished to purchase the assets of GSC Ministries rather than following through with the agreement. This is in March 2018. Okay, this go with what I said in the last show. Because remember, it was in March that the letter that I got that I saw, I think it was dated for March, maybe February. Remember the International Pentecostal Holiness Church, I think that's who they is. They sent a letter saying that you not about to give baby Jakes no golden key calls. Ronald and Hopeful, y'all owe us millions of dollars. Y'all remember that? That's why you got to pay attention to these shows. Y'all want me to go fast, but you be missing stuff and then in the comments lying and half cocked. Listen here. After incorporating Relentless in March 2018, Gray informed Redemption that Relentless wished to purchase the assets of GSC Ministries rather than following through with the agreement. Unfortunately, after agreeing to the terms of an asset transfer agreement negotiated between the parties, Gray refused to execute and deliver the asset transfer agreement, and the GSC Ministries rescinded their previous approval of that agreement. Okay. All right, we're getting into it now. As a part of the negotiation of the asset transfer agreement, the parties proposed written leases. Here, from here on out, it's going to be called the proposed leases for the properties to be executed by Relentless as a tenant. So this is how this happened, according to this. We're only getting this side of the story is all we got. Although the proposed leases were provided to Relentless, they were never executed and delivered to Redemption. Wait a minute. So I wonder this is where the oral part come in at. Number 11. Delivery is a prerequisite to the validity of any written lease. True. Absent delivery, the proposed leases never went into effect. As a result of Relentless failure to execute and deliver the proposed leases, it is occupying the properties on a month-to-month term under a whole bunch of second numbers. Well, so now that go with the letter, right? The letter was saying this. Number 13, as allowed by South Carolina law on November the 27th, 2019, Redemption delivered a 30-day notice to Relentless that the month-to-month tenancy would end no later than December 31st, 2019. See notice letter attached herein, Exhibit A. We read that. We seen it on our own. Number 14, Relentless has failed and refused to vacate the properties as required by South Carolina law. This is interesting. It seems like I smell something. I'm gonna tell y'all what I smell. All right, number 15. Additionally, have y'all liked the live and shared? Because we're going to all need to be talking about this, and make sure you listen so we'll be informed. All right. Y'all like to talk and you ain't listen. Number 14. Relentless has failed to refuse to vacate the properties as required by South Carolina law. Now, I'm going to say this about South Carolina. Black folk, y'all need to do what the law say around there in South Carolina for you end up at the top of a tree hung. Because there is KKK and folk around there that don't like white people. I'm not saying black people. I'm not saying all the white people. Same thing North Carolina. I'm from North Carolina. You got to be careful. Same thing in certain spaces in Virginia. But South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, you will die. I know this 2020, but it ain't changed much. All right, number 15. Additionally, Gray and Relentless were unable to service the debt on the Imagine Center. Now, I told y'all about that. My mole told me that. Remember, it jumped from $18,000 to $42,000, and it took Baby Jake's a couple of months to get hold of it and start paying it because it happened overnight because in October that balloon payment was due of $500,000. All right. This is getting interesting. Kendall, are you listening or are you in them comments? Oh, okay. There's some trolls in here? Okay, all right. Well, say it again. Who? Oh, Lord Jesus. Somebody talking about my degrees. My degrees? What about my degrees? I don't have any fake degrees. Let me go ahead and kill this right now so y'all will know. I, Larry Darnell Reid, have never been and never will be a liar. It just ain't in me to be. So let me go ahead and tell you this. I have 5 earned degrees. 5 earned degrees. 2 of them are from like regular Bible college. You know, somebody, a church or somebody start something and put a curriculum in place and they put it and give you a degree. They're not accredited. I'm not going to call them nothing degrees. If you earn a degree, you earn them, but they ain't accredited. So they're not recognized outside the church world. But then I have 3 other degrees that come from accredited Bible college. At least they was accredited when I went. That's Apex School of Theology. Anybody in the comments from Apex? Woo woo! Graduates. Or Hosanna Bible College. Both of them are in Durham, North Carolina, which is where I was living before I came to Atlanta. And that's just that. Back to the story. All right, let's go. Number 16. So this is really getting clearer to me. I'm going to tell y'all what I smell. As a result of Relentless inability to keep the mortgage debt on the Imagine Center current, the GSC Ministries under Carpenter's leadership and with the help of Carpenter's other ministry organizations had to take the necessary steps to pay the debt in full. Whoa. In order to avoid that debt being foreclosed. So now the building paid off? Number 17. All previous allegations are incorporated herein by reference where consistent. 18. Relentless has occupied the properties as a month-to-month tenant. 19. So they're basically saying, as a result, we can now eject these tenants. The tenant may be ejected upon application of a landlord or his agent when, number 1, the tenant fails to or refuses to pay the rent with due or demanded. Number 2, the term of tenancy or occupancy has ended. Or number 3, the terms of conditions of the lease has been violated. Okay, that's one of South Carolina's codes. Any tenant may be ejected in the following manner, to wit, Upon application by the landlord or his agent or attorney, any magistrate having jurisdiction shall issue a written rule requiring the tenant forthwith to vacate the premises occupied by him or to show cause why he should be ejected before the magistrate within the 10 days after service of a copy of such rule upon the tenant. Number 20. Okay, so it looks, all right, we're finished. Under South Carolina law, therefore, because redemption has property given 30 days notice to Relentless terminating the month-to-month tenancy in accordance with blah, 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 it is entitled to the issuance of a rule to show cause requiring the properties to be vacated. Oh, Lord. Number 21. All previous allegations are incorporated herein by reference where consistent. Number 22. As an alternative to first cause of action and to the extent that Relentless might claim that it is somehow entitled to the benefit of the proposed leases, it never executed and delivered redemption would show the following to the court. Number 23. The proposed leases require monthly payments in the amount of redemption's mortgage payments obligation. Number 24. The lease payment amounts described above were and as set forth in paragraph 6A of the proposed leases expressly intended by both redemption and Relentless to relieve redemption of all debt service and operational cost obligations associated with the properties. Number 25, Relentless failed to make the required payments on the okay, so now they're saying that they didn't even do the rent and the utilities is what they're saying? Is that what they're saying? Okay, somebody's emailing me and saying that the lights are about to be cut off. That's alleged information. I don't know. I don't have any proof. I don't have any proof of that. But this is what they're saying. Okay? We don't have no proof of that. What is it? I don't have any proof of that, so I can't say. But somebody just gave them $300,000. And they repaired the roof that allegedly was $300,000 to repair the roof. So, well, that's right for them to repair the roof if they assumed everything. But are they going to get that $300,000 back because they're leaving? This is all kind of interesting. Number 25, Relentless failed to make the required payments on the proposed lease for the Imagine Center and failed to relieve. Yeah. Okay. Number 26. Additionally, paragraph 17A of the proposed lease describes actions which would constitute an event of default. In pertinent part, it states as follows. So what we're reading are parts of the lease. The following actions shall constitute events of default under the terms of this lease. If tenant shall fail to make any payment of rent or any other charges or amounts due under the lease on the day when such payments are due, and such default continues for 10 days after the tenant is notified in writing by the landlord to cure such default, or if tenant is in default under the terms and conditions of any other agreement between any other agreement between the tenant and the landlord. Oh my God, this is not good. Y'all got to go. You gotta go. Because my thing was like, what's somebody evicted from an oral agreement? But it's law. And it's signed. Apparently. Number 27, paragraph 17B of the proposed lease provided, I can't hardly see this stuff. In an event of default has occurred, then immediately or at any time thereafter, in the sole and absolute discretion of landlord, without prior notice to or demand upon tenant, except as specifically otherwise provided in this lease, landlord may re-enter and take possession of the premises by action of ejectment or otherwise, and as landlord elects, either A, declare this lease an option to purchase terminated, in which event landlord may therefore possess and enjoy the premises as though this lease had never been made. They didn't read that part. Number 28, the failure of Relentless to make the required payments under proposed leases is an event of default under those leases. To the extent the proposed leases are of any effect, redemption hereby pursuant to the rights conferred, it under said paragraph 17b declares each of the proposed leases to be terminated and seeks to take possession of the properties. Wherefore, having set forth its claim, redemption would pray as follows. So this is what they're asking the court. And I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all this. When it comes to court, and I had no knowledge of, or no experiential knowledge of court except for a ticket and bankruptcy court. That's the only time I have been to court. Other than that, I'm not a criminal. I'm not the kind of person. I ain't got no charges, nothing. My parents, ain't none of my brothers and sisters, the way they raised us, you write a check, you pay for it. We ain't got no check cash and stuff. You know, somebody tell you leave it alone, you let them be so you don't end up with no assault or no threatening or harassment charges. We were raised right. So ain't none of the Reid children so far, or our children, or well, my daddy. Oh, no, he ain't got that. Got into that kind of stuff going on. So only knowledge I have experiential of going to court has been bankruptcy and ticket prior to now. And what I know now, you go up in that court, you at the mercy of the judge, your lawyer, whoever other lawyer sitting on the other side, and this thing can get really, really sticky. And before you know it, you hung out to dry. Especially you go in there with a black face. That thing just don't work out good all the time. And with what I'm seeing right here, this is not in favor of Relentless Church. I don't know who signed it, but if I was a judge and I looked at this and the way the law is stated and how it was done, they have to get out. A, for this to court to forthwith issue a rule to show cause pursuant. Okay, that's all just terminology. This is what they're asking for the court. That Relentless is in default of the obligations under proposed leases, that Relentless has no further right to possess or use the properties, and that Relentless is to be ejected from the properties, and then it has their lawyer. So if I'm not mistaken, since it's month to month, according to this, they have to be out, by February the 2nd? Now, I don't know if a month-to-month lease is like a breached 12 or 18-month lease, but I think there is a way for you to sort of hold over or to continue to stay, but that can get really sticky. And I done said that in South Carolina, you do not want to fool up with the law in South Carolina. So this is what I'm going to say, which is the same thing I said for now, is that Baby Jakes and the Adventure, get all your monkeys together and all your musicians and all of your peoples and get the hell out the church. Gone. And let me tell you why. You really ain't in that bad a situation as long as the carpenters are not trying to sue y'all for back pay or alleged back pay or alleged mispayments or alleged breach contract, or we don't really know. Well, according to this, they look like there's some money that's owed, but we don't know if that's true or not. Maybe y'all can, somebody around there, if you go on Pastor's desk, on Baby Jake's desk beside the donuts, and grab that lease scanner and send it to me. Well, he probably ain't got no donuts because he done lost a whole lot of weight. So beside the kale, reach beside the kale or the almonds with the sea salt and send it to me so I know. We are here speculating, and I know they probably can't talk now, but their lawyers will. Leak it. Somebody get it. But according to this piece of paper here, it looks as though that there's some money that's not owed. But I have heard that there's some discrepancies on the sides of the carpenters as well, that they didn't hold to the agreement. But we don't know. We really don't know, except what's in black and white. And according to this right here and what I've seen, there was a debt that the carpenters owed that organization, but according to this piece of paper, they paid it off. so that they can do the transfer. And according to this paper, it looks as though that debt with the Imagine Center has been paid off as well. That's what it looks like. They said him and some other folk got together and paid that debt off. That's what it looks like. So I also heard that the Grays paid $300,000 to repair the roof. So that's done. The Grays also alleged, remember, that they were paying for equipment that was actually in their church in California. Also was alleged, with all of the people that got fired and they were letting go, that had been working there for years, they gave them lump sum payments, but they were saying that the outlets did not put that in there to just cast them in a negative light. So, and it looks like Greenville News, and I'm not talking about y'all, but it just look like you may be a little biased from what I've seen, and I ain't read all the articles. I like to put the information out there, talk on both sides, and then let people talk amongst themselves until I get a hard interview or hard evidence. And then from that, we can make conversation. And it looks like, according to this document, that there's money that the Grays did not pay, according to this document. Now, what we should see from their lawyer or filed in the courts is some kind of response. And that's what I would suggest. If you wanted to clear your name, you can do that if you don't want to talk. But if you want to talk, the only thing you got to do is call me. And you tell your side of the story. Same thing with the Carpenters. This is fair media here. You can tell your side of the story on this same platform if y'all want to. But you may want to go to more higher or what you feel to be more reputable platforms. So you may not find this as very important, but lots of outlets from the rooter to the tutor pick up stuff right here from this platform and shoot it out to the world. So you do whatever you want to do as it relates to that. Now, this is what my first mind say do. Carpenters, you come in there, get your church. Let everybody know that you coming, when you're going to be back there. And all them white people that left, allegedly, I'm just going by what I heard, when the Grays took over, they'll come right on back. And all them brown and black faces, what we call, that came when the Grays got there, or they say it was like a switch out, to where now it's like 80% colors over there at the Relentless. Take all them folk that's going to go with y'all and go start your own church. And let's just wash it out. Let the Carpenters raise that money to handle everything they got to get. And y'all take y'all money and go on over there to a hotel or somewhere and go have church. I know the Grays lost because 12 families, they brought them down here and now they got to move somewhere else and whatever. But the reality is the Carpenters have a loss as well. They got to come back here and they got to, God told us to give John Gray the church. Now it look like God was wrong. So you got to look his face look his same folk in the face that who may feel like have lost trust in Ronald's leadership possibly. So they losses on both sides. I mean, just accept the losses, go on about your ways, and start putting some positive media out here. Carpenters, y'all come back, and you know how to work the media. Give away some money. Go sponsor about 4, 5, 10 black families. Cry and say, I got it wrong. I thought he was the one. But he won't. Or you cried and say he was. But the devil got in both of us and messed it up. I don't know. But you know how to work the media. Grays, just go and get your other building, start a camping. You already done what smart somebody you're going to do another campus in Atlanta. You got the folk in a space where they ready to just, we going to win. We're going to go play the race card. Oh, the white man, they done did us wrong again. And he called us a nigger, but I never was going to say it. You know, play that race card. All the vloggers and stuff, the people pick it up. Somebody believe it. Could be the truth. We don't know. And go about your business and build your church. We all know church folk don't read, and they are emotional and believe whatever somebody say without a receipt and any kind of credible sourcing. So just lie. Tell a bunch of lies, take up money, go do your church. All right, I think I'm done. I think I'm done. All right, I'm going to open up the lines. And let you say whatever you want to say. The number here is, I don't never know this number, long as I've been doing this show. 646-787-8174. That's 646-787-8174. Before you go, make sure you hit like. I know some of y'all don't want the call-ins, y'all drop, the numbers drop. Make sure you hit like and you share this now. And also, if you enjoyed this, do hit something on the Cash App, hit something on the donate. Get in the habit of every time something is of value to you and you experience it, make sure you show some appreciation, not just me, but anybody that you watch online that's a digital content creator, because you help what they're doing. And whatever you give over here is tax deductible because of the MBN network that supports this platform. All right. Are y'all ready? 646 787-8174. All right, let's go. Caller ending in 6629. What's your name? Where you calling from? You got 1 minute.
Val from California.
Hey there.
So the deal is, it's a proposed lease. So I don't know if you can be bound by the terms of a proposed lease if you never signed it. So I'm just not sure how all that legality is coming into effect there. So I just wanted to put that out there.
All right. Thank you so much for saying that. And it actually goes with what I was saying concerning what I smelt when I said I smelt some earlier. Because to me, I think this could have been handled a different way. Because there's a lot of oral breaking, and it seems like Baby Jakes wasn't doing what he either agreed, according to the contract, what we read in the court documents, it was what he agreed to do, or what they wanted him to do. Can I just say that? Because I don't know. I'm an outsider. I don't have a dog in this fight. So either he wasn't doing what he agreed to do, and that's what the document's saying it is, or he wasn't doing what they wanted him to do. And so as a result, then they just said, well, looking at what you signed, let's just work and use the law in our favor to get your colored hind part up out of there. Get up out of our church. And that's what I was saying. Now, I do not know. None of us know. Even those of you that give me information, we are not Hope, Ronald, and, well, actually, I don't think Hope or the Avenger is in any of this, except standing behind their man, having to save face, having to try to work and push this vision, because that is the family's money maker. That is the assignment from God. That is, they have children, they have families. So really, when it comes to Hope and the Avenger, Hopeful and the Avenger, I really don't put them in this transaction. I see it as Ronald and Baby James. So it's something in there is not fresh and it smells. I don't know what it is, but it's not. I don't know. I would put it on Ronald and Baby Jakes and the people right beside them, maybe CFOs or personal executive assistants, something in all of that. It ain't right, in my opinion. Whose side is on? I don't know. Nigga, you hear me giving my points. I'm going to tell you when to take the next call. Stop it. And shut up. All right, let's go. You right. Let me go ahead on. Caller in at 9540. What's your name? Where you calling from? You have 1 minute.
Hi, my name is Deb, and I'm calling from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm calling just to give my opinion. I just think the whole thing is just messy. It's just a shame that the church is operating like this, and I just really feel that John Gray and Ron Carpenter could have settled this out of the courts, the public.
Okay, help. You went out. I can't hear you.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm still here. And I just think like a couple weeks ago, I was listening to you, and I believe I heard you say that Hope had sent an email to some of the individuals in the church. I think that was messy on her part. I think it should have been kept amongst the leaders of the church, that other people in the congregation, she should have never sent an email to them talking about anything. So I just think the whole thing is just an embarrassment to the body of Christ. Thank you.
I agree. Somebody's telling me, and I don't know if this is true or not, they're telling me the ratio of peach to brown, that I had it all wrong. There were more colors in the church when Ron was there. And I can believe that because, I'm going to tell you what my white friends tell me. They tell me that white people 9 times out of 10 don't like sitting up under a black leader. But I'm not supposed to use black according to Dr. Shama, African leader or Cushite. But Africans will sit under Caucasians and a lot of times find that more suitable for them. And I happen to believe it is sort of connected to America's original sin that I call slavery. My mentor calls it racism. That's what I think. All right, make sure I'm looking at this before we get another call. All right, so that's something that allegedly the $1 million that was allegedly left in the account, but I did hear from the side of Relentless Church that never happened. That was left for the roof. More than enough was left for the roof. That's alleged information. There's no proof. There's no receipt for that. All right? All right, let's call her. Caller in at 6515. What's your name? Where you calling from? You have 1 minute.
Lord, they didn't let me on the line. This is Cal from Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Hey there, I can hear it in your accent.
Oh, Lord. I just called to send all of the encouragement over to the members at, Relentless Church. I want to encourage y'all to get y'all stuff and come out of them folks' establishment. Y'all ain't had no business being in there. So just come on out while you're 2 steps ahead. And as you march it out, give the Lord a hand clap of praise. Give him all the glory for saving y'all. And that's all I got to say, Larry. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for calling in. Love your accent. Okay, I would have to back up what she's saying. And I said this when this first started. I said, pack it up and move to Beverly. Get up out of there quickly, absolutely. All right, next caller. Caller in 6336. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Sorry, sir. Sorry there, Larry. I just want to say this is just horrible. You know, this is like your word, niggerment. This is John Gray. I'm so upset with you because there's a lot of people that are not going to be able, not go back to church, either of the congregations. And they'll say, see, I told you there was nothing up in that church. And, all this messing around. And my sister, her faith is real weak. And this is what she talks about. See, I told you. See, I told you. And it's just all these people that are going to just miss heaven. If I was part of either one of those churches, I would just run, get out of there. Don't go to church there. All this bed hopping and then the lawyers. One thing about preachers, especially these mega evangelists and all, they have lawyers around, and so the contract was explained to them, and all. So he's very aware of what was on that contract. So he can't say, well, I didn't read it and this wasn't executed and all that. They got lots of lawyers in the church. Even if they're not, paid, they're on an advisory role. Because my preacher is a lawyer, which I have a lot of trouble with that. But so it's just sad, Larry. Just continue, just continue to pray for the body of Christ. That His truth. That 2020 will be the year, for us. So I've taken a lot of your time, but thank you.
Thank you.
And just keep doing what you do.
You stay within your minute. Thank you. I'm glad you contributed. Thank you for watching. All right. Caller ending in 7821. What's your name? Where you calling from? You have 1 minute.
All right, Larry, this is Sam from Charlotte. Listen, this thing is a mess, but on a lot of levels. And like the last caller said, that there are lawyers, but it appears to me, and I'm not there, haven't read the complaint like you were just reading, it appears to me that this was something that was done without lawyers, because on the carpenter side, when did they send the 5-day notice to say pay or quit? When did they send the 14-day notice to say that you were in violation of your lease? That's on that side of it. When you talk about the Grays and say, oh, they were stupid, they didn't read, here's the thing. If you're a tenant and there are some things that you don't agree with, then you put it out there that I don't agree. The carpenters had way more time to say, hey, y'all, you're not paying the money, or hey, things are not right. So I don't look at this as John Gray as being stupid or what have you, and he doesn't know how to do business. And I'm not so sure that the carpenters know how to do business. I think you were running to get to California because the grass looked greener there. Your wife made a mess here talking about the black folks and all that they should or should not do. And I do agree with you that the Grays should just get on and get their own church, not because of all of this mess with his personal affairs, but because he has an opportunity to still start over fresh and unencumbered with debt.
I hear you. Thank you so much for calling in. Yeah, and I had said this before, that I felt like there was too much God leading business. Business, we should be as wise men. And I think you need some very carnal, regular, practical, secular people when it comes to business, so you don't get all that tied up. And I think that they should have been more in their head than in their faith in this transition. I think, and in this transaction. All right, let's go. Caller ended in 6070. What's your name? Where you calling from? 1 minute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
So what I feel.
Wow, his phone went right out. Okay. Caller ending in 6447. What's your name? Where you calling from? 1 minute.
My name is Gail, calling from Spartanburg, South Carolina. And Larry, I would like to say, from one pastor to another, I pray that they can work things out and run. He has money, and I hope that he can work with the man. But if he can't, John Gray just need to just pack up, find another place in Greenville. And you know what? People, they are looking at the church. They're looking at the body of Christ. And also, Hope, she just needs to be quiet, because when she was in Greenville at Redemption, she was messy then. So she just need to be quiet. And I just pray that John Gray just move on, get another place. He said he's going to do all this stuff in Atlanta, all this big talk. But, if you just move on, he just need to just move on.
I hear you. Thank you so much for calling in. As relates to what she said concerning Hope, I think some people felt the very same way concerning the Avenger, because she would take the mic out of his hand. I said one time, she's strong and wrong. So she take that mic out of that man's hand, we up there talking. But this is the thing. This is what I think. Okay, you tell me I need to delete Michael S. Thompson Sr. Kendall. Okay, I think he just has his opinion. That's yeah. That don't have to be. I mean, oh, so he don't think what I'm saying is news. So why is he here? Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of him then. All right, so I think there are wives that are passionate about what they're doing, and you know, when you're passionate about something, sometimes you run off at the mouth, you know, or you say something. It may be out of turn or out of kilter or out of gear, but I'm not going to say that I don't understand why they're speaking out or why they do what they do. I think I understand. And when I look at the cases like with Lady Brown and some of this other stuff I've seen, I'm like, I get it. I get it. They're in a serious position. And then I watched my former wife when we divorced, not this last time, but we had divorced one time in between there that was basically like a one-day divorce. But I watched how, and I ain't going to say that the members meant to do it, but they love their leader that's giving them prophecy and the word of the Lord all the time. And the first lady is a trophy piece, or she is helping with what he's doing. She ain't the pastor. So she sort of left and her whole community was gone and she was by herself. And I was still doing ministry. And just like what they say sort of happened with Pastor Keon Henderson, now that him and his wife is breaking up, they're saying the church is growing. The same thing happened to me because, you know, if you're a businessman, an entrepreneur, you put your focus on what you've been called to do. And it begins, whatever you focus on expands. And so it began to grow, which, you know, may fool him like it fooled me. But, you know, cause even with that, God still looks at you, how you handle and treat your wife. But that's a whole nother conversation. So since I've seen first ladies and wives handled a certain kind of way, after it's all said and done, let these women have their voice, even if they're strong and wrong at times, because the reality is if that husband ever decided to let them go, that man going to still have a church, still making money and be able to move on, and she keep the kids, and y'all going to continue to go to church. People don't fall out of relationship with their spiritual leader easily. They just don't. Even after they leave, they still hear his words in their heart and in their head, especially if he really ministered to them. That just don't happen. So I know I saw Hopeful's DM what she said about John. I'm pretty sure the Avenger will say some things about Ronald. That's they protecting their man, or however. You know, but I do understand the first lady's pressure and job. Maybe because I listened to my former wife and I've done some interviews here. So I'm not excusing anything, but I understand. All right, let's take some more callers. Caller ending in 8997. What's your name? Where you calling from? 1 minute.
Well, hello, Dr. Reid. This is your big fan from Alabama, and my name is Tiffany. And one thing, I have had to have missed something. How can you have $1 million surplus in a bank account, but you have $14 million in debt? And then if you're renting this place, how come they did not put, I don't know if they put it in the agreement that they'll fix the roof themselves. That's something that I missed. I don't have clarity on that. But it is the landlord's or the property owner's responsibility to make sure that all repairs are done. So it's something that's convoluted in all of this. Something ain't right in the milk, as my grandmama used to say. So can you explain that? Because I had to have missed something, because this is, to me, is the dumbest business deal I have ever seen.
All right, thank you so much for calling in. That's exactly what I said last time. And maybe that's the thing that I smell, like I said, as a stench in all of this, is just the lack of business savvy and well thought out transaction, well thought out transition. I would have to agree with what she said. All right, next caller. Caller ending in 0559. What's your name? Where you calling from? You have 1 minute.
Yes, my name is Travis from Greenville, South Carolina.
Hello.
And yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you well. You can go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you well.
Yes, my name is Travis from Greenville, South Carolina. And one thing I'm just questionable about, if everything was like not good in John Gray's favor, why did he pump up the new location of the church and this other church? Because he announced that he was going to announce the location of the church for New Year's, and he never even mentioned it or even brought it up. So that tells you right there he was preparing to move, but I don't think he has a place as of yet. Otherwise, why did you commit to the commitment of telling the people where we were going when we came for New Year's Eve service?
Yes, I got you. Thank you so much for calling in. I think that just what I know when it comes to moving a church and moving a church of that size, because I think they have thousands of members or hundreds of members. I think that it's taking time. And I heard that around October there was some talks between Baby Jakes and Ronald, and he was asking to give him to June to move the church out. So I would like to think that he can move the church out by the end of the month, but they got to find a facility and a place where they can fully operate in Greenville, South Carolina. They're not warehouses sitting around South Carolina that are up to assembly code like it is here in Atlanta, where you got that everywhere for photographers and for TV stations and studios, but you don't in South Carolina. So contractors have to have time to flip a building and make it up to assembly code A1 or A2 in the Carolinas. So I'm thinking that he hasn't left it and announced anywhere because that's still not settled. No, I don't know. All right, let's go. Caller ending in 5260. What's your name? Where you calling from? 1 minute.
Hello, Larry. Hello, I'm JD. I live in Chicago, but I'm a product of Southern University Law Center in Baton Rouge. Shout out to Southern. To be clear, I don't practice in this area. However, there are multiple issues on both sides. I'd like to. You've done an eloquent job pointing out the positive sides of the plaintiff's side. I'd like to discuss two issues that they may have. Number one is perfection, and two is notice. The plaintiffs are alleged that the lease was not delivered and therefore not perfected. That's an entire issue that has to be addressed, and it can go either way. For instance, there's a certain concept in the law called the the mailbox rule, excuse me. And that rule simply states that a notice is deemed provided once the individual puts it in the mailbox. So if you have a contract, you sign it, you send it to another party. Once they sign it and put it in the mailbox, you're deemed to have received that notice. So there's some issues that could be around there. And also proper notice regarding the timelines, like the 5-day. Can they prove that they provided these notices that they're claiming in their petition? And so we can't say that this is a slam dunk for the plaintiff. It's not. It could literally go both ways, like Donnie McClurkin, the real Dante. But lastly, when you were joking and you suggested that individuals take documents from the pastor's desk, we know you were joking. You wouldn't be encouraging folks or inciting folks to go and commit a crime. But I love your show, Larry. Thank you, and keep it going.
Thank you so much for understanding my humor. I think that this is a bad situation, but I'm just an optimist, and I don't let too much worry me and get on my nerves. So maybe I just feel like this is going to be all right, and it's going to end up being okay. And the media, fair media, will be here to report it and to talk about how things are so much better now, and for both sides, and they moved on, and 2 years from now they're doing services together. Meaning somebody invites somebody over to come preach. That's what I'm hoping. All right, let's take a few more calls since y'all still here. There's 2,543 of you over here on YouTube and 1,000 and something over here. Y'all don't want to go nowhere. All right, caller ended in 9888. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And you have 1 minute.
Larry, this is Marty. How are you? Happy New Year. Happy New Decade. What's up?
Hey there.
So in addition to Brother Laura that was just on a second ago, I'm with him on both sides. There are issues where it's not a slam dunk for either. One issue I had with how people are perceiving this document is the term tenant versus occupant. And that's another thing that has to be established if he's a tenant versus occupant. A tenant has legal rights, and an occupant is considered like a squatter. You have to show and prove versus what's proven on documentation. And even if he did not agree or whatever he did on the lease agreement, or even if it was verbal, but if you still accepted and performed as if it was matter of fact and did not put, like you said earlier, an addendum or say, hey, we don't accept this in the contract prior to moving forward, that still shows ignorance on the defendant side. Another thing I had was even with Apostle Ron transitioning to California, he had to do the same thing with the pastor who was retiring in the place in San Jose, California. So one thing for sure, I think with credibility and history on Ron's side, that there is some support where, hey, you might have been doing great things all this time, but you may have made an error with this. And another thing I like to bring out is we have to be not so willing to just get with somebody that has nothing to lose, because they'll help you lose everything. Because Apostle Ron, in their history of pastoring, they have a lot of assets. They've been a lot apostles to other leaders and churches and so forth. What does John Gray have outside of a social media presence of a preacher and an itinerant preacher? Yes, he has TV shows, but what ministry church-wise has he built up with his hands that he could understand this responsibility that Ron gave them? I think an error on Ron's side is they gave this type of responsibility because it's not like their church was broke before they gave it to them. They were able to sustain the bills. So I think there's an error of giving a responsibility too soon to someone that doesn't have a proven track record to keep up a building and a responsibility of a ministry solely on himself.
I think that is great commentary. Thank you so much for calling in. What she said about it's not a win. That's why I said there's losses on both sides. She's right. There are losses on both sides. And really the Grays can come out of this really good because it's like a fresh start with where they gave 50,000, 30,000 of that 300,000 away, and I'm pretty sure they had to pay some folks with at least 150,000 in the account. So, but they got to use it to get a building. But they still, they ain't got a lot of overhead and debt. The carpenters got debt, but they have assets that they can liquidate or at least, pull lines of credit out. They're going to be all right. And I'm thinking everybody's going to end up all right with this. At least that's what I feel and what I think. All right, next caller. Caller in and in 6451. What's your name? Where you calling from? You got 1 minute. All right, next caller. Caller in and in 4144. What's your name? Where you calling from? You got 1 minute.
Hi, Larry. This is Monty calling from Detroit.
What up?
What's up? One, I'm trying to figure out the families that John Gray took with him to South Carolina, what skill set did they even have? I think if I'm going to relocate somewhere and I move with some family, somebody in there needs to be my accountant, a bookkeeper, or somebody, my facility person. It seemed like he just took some people with him that I'm wondering what did they bring to the table. And also in those documents, it's a lot of verbiage between Ron and John versus the institution's name. So, it goes back to something where you were just talking about the other day, how these churches are being set up where, the church wasn't going to even own this building. This was something clearly in the name of John Gray, to put him on the hook. And maybe the carpenters only looked at him because, his popularity of thinking that he can, handle a facility like this. But, I thought something was wrong after he had took over and already needing a roof over $200,000. I was like, okay, was there any type of inspection, and you already need a roof, and these are fairly new buildings. And the last point is I'm wondering what you talked about this before, the value of that property, because if the carpenters come back in and that property value has skyrocketed because when others may want that in the area, They may just get it, they've paid it off, and they can just sell it.
I hear you. Now, I did think the same thing. Thank you so much for calling in, caller.
Thank you.
As it relates to John Gray being chosen as the person to leave the church, and according to what I saw online, Ronald had thought about it and watched how the people responded to him. And he basically needs somebody that could go in there, could preach, and could really handle everything. Now, I don't know if prior to that, did Baby Jakes agree to taking on the assets of GSC like it said here in the paperwork, but the paperwork said it did. So I really think, and if I could talk to him live, I think we will find out that he will say, because I did hear somebody say he said it, but we can't verify that. I really did not know what I was doing. I want y'all to listen to that. If he said I really didn't know what I was doing and I don't really know about property like that. I mean, 'cause you can buy a house and be totally dumb about the whole process. And we know this is like his second or third house he's owned. My first or second property I bought, before I bought it, I went to real estate school, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Because I wanted to understand the process, because I felt like I had to put everything in somebody else's hand and they can really just be doing whatever they want to do. I really don't think nobody should buy a house without going to real estate school first, because the transaction could easily not be in your favor over here or over there, and that inspection and that earnest, that, and you not even know it. So I can believe that he probably did not know. Most black folk, I hate to say it like that, not black folk, Africans, due to how things are systematic and systemic in this country, a lot of us and neither our families come from great business background where we owners. We always the people that the owners get to work the business because we're great workers. You know, we're good at doing what we do. We're great hands and we're great feet, but we're not great head and shoulders. You know, and the top Fortune 500, even 200-300 companies, if you look at their boards, you may find 2-3 brown people out of all of it. That's just not really our forte, and it is systemic, but it is changing. Here in Atlanta, that is just not the case. Everything, the rich folk are the brown folk. The owners are the brown folk. But so I can believe him not knowing. I can believe that. And as a result, and I can also believe that Ronald did not know he did not know. And let me tell you why. Because of white privilege. One of the things of white privilege is that you don't even know that you're privileged. Most white people don't know that they're privileged. And as a result, when you don't know that you're privileged, then you don't know how to be racially sensitive. And you really do not know the struggle of black people. And you don't know how good you got it, even if you're going to work every single day and you got to work hard like any black man has to work hard. You still have the white skin. It is the white skin itself that gives you the privilege. I don't care if you're in a trailer park. You still have a privilege that we do not have, because white is right and black is wrong. That's something we learned from early on, even when it comes to the colors. So it is crayons and markers. That's just in us. It is as it is. And so I can see Ronald not knowing and being clear that he does not know. Ronald is a businessman. If you just go on Google and look at stuff he owns, this man got properties everywhere. That's not the case with John Gray or his ministry. So there is a knowledge inferiority that is at play that we got to pay attention to. This was dumb with a B. D-U-M-B. Oh, Lord, I hope you understand. Baby Jakes, I love you, but I got called like I said. Dumb. 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 God almighty. You playing ball at the level of multimillionaires. You should have called my mentor, Bernard Jordan. You should have called Danny Jakes. You should have called our well, Miles Monroe gone. What's it? Bill Winston, our Ivy Hilliard, Creflo Dollar. These folk that used to dealing with that kind of money. Trying to tell you. All right, I'm done. I can't take no more calls. I love you. Thank you so much for calling in, but this was not supposed to happen today, and I got to get on the plane to go to New York, and I'll be back to see y'all Monday. Now, Monday, we may continue this conversation. Who knows, something else may come out before Monday. You know how stuff been happening. I might have a pop-up live while I'm in NYC, but I don't know. But I want you to take a moment before you sign off. If you have enjoyed, and I've given you entertainment about the same amount of time you've been at a movie theater, $12, or either sign up for Patreon, $12, and support this platform. I love you like a fat baby, like a bottle of milk. I love you like niggas love watermelon, chicken, and Kool-Aid. Some niggas, I don't even like Kool-Aid or watermelon, but I love fried chicken. All right, I'll see y'all later. Bye.